Okay, so you want to own a Puma retail outlet. A sleek, high-energy space filled with neon-accented tracksuits and carbon fiber running shoes. Display walls featuring Formula One collaborations, crowds of weekend runners and casual buyers browsing the racks, and the leaping Wildcat logo shining above the entrance. You wake up on Saturday morning, watch the foot traffic surge through your doors, and watch your investment grow. That is the picture. That is what athletic lifestyle marketing sells you. That is what brand launch events make you feel. Here is what the corporate sales presentation doesn't show you. The $70,000 monthly replenishment bill that arrives before the stock is sold. The aggressive markdown strategy dictated by corporate headquarters that slashes your margins during off-season promotions. The constant pressure of competing directly with the brand's own massive e-commerce discounts. And the fact that you haven't made a single dollar of profit in 2 years because every cent goes toward holding inventory that depreciates before you can move it. Athletic, whereas one of the most volume-dependent retail segments in the world. On the outside, it looks like performance lifestyle and premium sportswear. On the inside, it looks like a low-margin grocery store where the produce goes out of style instead of rotting. By the end of this, you'll understand why. Before we talk about money, we need to talk about what a Puma retail operation actually is. Because sportswear retail is one of those sectors that gets divided into completely different corporate agreements. A flagship partnership store carries top-tier designer lines. A factory outlet focuses on liquidating past season inventory. A multi-brand wholesale account sells basic athletic shoes as a sideline. These are not the same business. They share product lines but operate on entirely different balance sheets. The largest single cost of launching this franchise is not the footwear. It is the physical real estate. To meet the brand's strict volume requirements, you must occupy high-density retail corridors. According to commercial leasing records, prime retail space in top-tier outlet malls averages $70 to $180 per square foot annually. To operate a standard 4,000 square foot outlet showroom, you are looking at $280,000 to $720,000 in yearly rent alone. The build-out requirements are non-negotiable. Puma requires custom metallic grid walls, industrial lighting arrays, and modular merchandise tables. A single brand-approved metal shelving unit costs $5,000. Upgrading the digital point-of-sale infrastructure and stockroom logistics tracking systems costs between $30,000 and $70,000. You will spend $400,000 on lease improvements and store setup before a single customer tries on a shoe. Low-cost locations do not generate the volume required to pay the bills. If you open in a cheaper secondary market, the corporate shipping schedule will prioritize you last. The premium location is a structural requirement. Now you buy the inventory. This is the core structural trap of athletic wear retail. Unlike luxury goods, sportswear operates on extreme seasonal turns. A pair of nitro running shoes or motorsport sneakers has a wholesale cost of $55, retailing for $110. That sounds like a solid 50% margin. But the corporate supply agreement forces you to purchase full product runs. For every 20 pairs of high-performance running shoes, you must purchase 80 units of basic polyester track pants, branded t-shirts, and socks. A standard initial inventory order to stock a 4,000 square foot store costs roughly $350,000. More than 50% of this stock consists of low-margin apparel that struggles to sell at full retail price. Puma inventory decays rapidly in value. The moment a new shoe model is announced, the wholesale value of your existing stock drops by 30%. You cannot return slow-moving products. The monthly debt service on financed inventory at current commercial lending rates can easily run $5,000 per month. On a standard outlet location, that debt service eats the entire cash profit of your accessory sales. The operating costs are relentless. Revenue arrives in unpredictable waves based on local mall promotions, but your bills arrive daily. Rent, staff payroll, regional marketing fees, and property insurance do not pause. According to retail industry data, the estimated annual operating cost for a mid-sized sportswear franchise is $320,000. The revenue model is built on velocity, not high margins. A store with a monthly fixed operating cost of $45,000 must sell approximately 3,000 individual units of apparel and footwear monthly just to cover costs. Below this volume, the cash bleed is severe. In a normal economic climate, a well-run location can generate $1,400,000 in gross sales. Against this, the wholesale cost of goods sold runs $840,000. Store overhead, rent, labor, franchise royalties, and promotional expenses consume $440,000. The net profit sits around $100,000 on an initial investment of $900,000. That represents an 11% return on capital, assuming ideal retail conditions. But those calculations assume an 85% sell-through rate of inventory without markdowns. This is the danger zone. The sportswear sector is highly sensitive to consumer sentiment. When the economy slows, shoppers buy fewer athletic shoes. Your stockrooms fill with unsold sneakers. To clear space for the next mandatory shipment, you must cut prices. Selling a $110 shoe at a 40% discount slashes your revenue to $66, leaving you with an $11 gross margin after wholesale costs. This margin does not cover the cost of the electricity to light the display. If you do not discount, the corporate system stops your next shipment. The model forces you to liquidate your own margins to stay in the game. Let's build a realistic first-year scenario. You open a franchise in a regional outlet center. You sign a lease for a 4,000 square foot store at $50 per square foot. Your rent is $200,000 annually. You fund 50% of the startup capital yourself and finance the rest, resulting in an annual debt service of $85,000. Your opening inventory order costs $350,000. Your total initial capital deployed, including the corporate franchise fee, is $950,000. First-year operating expenses, including management, hourly staff, utilities, and local marketing, total $310,000. Your store achieves a 75% sell-through rate, forcing you to sell the remaining 25% of stock at a 40% discount. Gross retail revenue is $980,000. Net operating profit before debt service is $90,000. After paying the $85,000 annual debt service, your actual cash return is $5,000 on an investment of nearly $1 million. The operating profit covers less than 1% of your financial exposure. This is why independent sportswear retail is a dangerous business. The inventory requirements are too heavy for the real-world demand of a single market. The operators who survive are those with massive cash reserves who run multiple locations to balance shipping costs, or those who negotiate custom markdown allowances with corporate distributors. The brand name is powerful. The retail reality is a relentless math problem. The owners who succeed are the ones who manage the inventory cycles, not the lifestyle.